Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be looking at how to simplify expressions using multiplication and division rules for exponents and algebraic expressions, similar to this problem that you see up on the screen. Just a reminder, this is the full-length lesson where we're going to go step by step. If you'd like the short version, where we just go through the main ideas pretty quickly, I will link that in the description below. Before attempting this lesson, you should already be familiar with the multiplication and division rules for exponents along with negative exponents. If you'd like refreshers on any of those topics, I will link those in the description as well. All right, so here's our problem. And hopefully we remember that, with the parentheses right next to each other, this is all being multiplied, right? There's invisible multiplication symbols in the middle. So let's do the big numbers first. Hopefully remember those are called coefficients. So let's multiply the coefficients. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 times 2 is 60. And now let's take a look at the t's here. Okay, so remember we're going to add the exponents. So t to the second, t to the third, t, and remember there's an invisible 1 here, so t to the first. So we're doing 2 plus 3 plus 1, which is 6. So we get t to the 6th power. Now we do the u's. 9, 5, and 1. So 9, 5, and 1 would be u to the 15th power. And this is our final answer. Multiply the big numbers, add the small numbers. All right, here's our cool clock for today, which means that it is time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work on these problems, let's check your solutions. All right, for the first problem, you should have gotten 120 f to the 17th, g to the 11th, h to the 14th. And for the second problem, you should have gotten 15. Oh, I apologize, that should have been 30. Okay, now it's fixed. 30, s to the 11th, t to the 11th, u to the 12th power. All right, now for this problem, you see that some of them are negative powers. So we're still going to add. So let's do our coefficients first. 4 times 4 is 16, times 2 is 32. And now we do the t's. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus negative 1. So remember, 6 plus negative 1 is just like saying 6 minus 1. So we're going to get t to the 5th power. For the u's, we've got 0 plus 8. So 0 plus 8 plus 9, which is u to the 17th. And for the v's, we've got 1. So we've got 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus negative 3 gives me v to the negative 1. And remember, we don't usually write our answers with negative exponents. So we've already covered negative exponents. We should be able to say, okay, to make that positive, it becomes this, right? Move the v into the denominator and it becomes a positive exponent. And so this is our final answer. All right, it's time to practice. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem, you should have gotten 450p to the second, p squared, divided by q to the 7th power. And for the second problem, you should have gotten 168 v to the 10th, divided by u to the 4th power. All right, and now it's time to put it all together. So you should always do the multiplication first. We'll say the simple reason is it's PEMDAS. Okay, let's do the multiplication first. So I see the multiplication on the top. So when I multiply those, I'm going to get 12a b to the negative second, and then we didn't do anything with the bottom, so the bottom stays exactly the same as it was. Okay, don't worry about negative exponents until the final step. And now we divide, right? So 12 divided by 2 is 6. Remember, you subtract the exponents. So this is going to be 1 minus 1, which is a to the 0. And then negative 2 minus negative 1 leaves us with b to the negative 1 power. And now our final answer, okay, is 6 over b. Remember, a to the 0 power is just a 1, so this is like saying 6 times 1, so that a to the 0 just sort of disappears. And we move the b into the denominator to make it a positive exponent, and so this is the final answer. So remember, multiply first, and then do the division. All right, it's time to practice. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. All right, for the first problem, here's the work. You should have ended up with 5d to the 8th over b. And for the second problem, here is the work. You should have ended up with a to the 9th divided by b to the 3rd. All right, that is it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.